Today, we're going to introduce the Strategy Development Life Cycle. Please note that this is a top-level discussion, and we will show you step-by-step how each works in later videos. So don't worry about needing to understand everything in this overview. This process has been designed in order to bring more awareness to your top level of your trading business. As traders, we can get lost in the detail of our day-to-day trading and lose sight of the bigger picture. This training will provide you with a step-by-step process for your strategy development, testing, and deployment. Those of you who have applied quantitative models to trading may be familiar with similar processes. Yet, as we go deeper into this training, you will also see how this model has been uniquely fitted to support semi-discretionary trading also. This strategy development lifecycle process has been laid out for you in a clear and concise manner. As you follow this process, you can eliminate years of frustration as a result of using a haphazard approach to the markets. This strategy development lifecycle has 8 different stages, 3 of which have been created as pausing points. At the pausing points, you have a clean feedback and are able to use that information by choosing to proceed to go forward or go back to a previous stage. As you may notice, this entire program has been built on our Golden Keys principles of first, awareness, second, acceptance, and thirdly, action. In this introduction, I'm going to walk you through the process so that you can get a sense of the work we're going to be doing together in the following lessons. The first phase of this process is your hypothesis. Here you will develop your initial idea that is the foundation of your strategy. You may have learned this hypothesis or idea from someone else, or you developed it by recognizing repeated patterns in the market. However, it is important that it makes sense to you based on your beliefs and understandings of markets and how it works. For some, it may be just as simple as, the market makes patterns, so I trade them. For others, you may require a theory around why those patterns emerge. You can keep it as simple or as complex as you need to at this stage. What matters is that the trade makes sense to your view of the markets. Otherwise, it will be more difficult to trust it later when you're putting your money on the line. The next stage is documenting your strategy. Here you will define its key components. This includes your entry and exit management rules, what time frames and what instruments you trade, what market hours you will trade, and what elements are purely mechanical and what elements are discretionary. After you have completed documentation, you will move on to stage 3, backtesting. As you backtest, you will want to document each and every trade that matches your trading criteria in your plan. During backtesting, keep within your chosen day-time range. Continue the testing until you have a fair amount of trades. You will have an entire training module later in this course to give you more details that you need. Of course, the more backtesting, the better, because this manual backtesting process will consume far less time and money than your forward testing. This makes it far cheaper to drop a strategy if your hypothesis hasn't produced the results that you want. It is also a great opportunity to take additional notes about other patterns or exceptions that you may observe. Once you have completed the backtesting, you can move to stage 4, risk assessment. Here you will analyze your results. This allows you to determine if the results you observe are acceptable, need improvement, or are sufficient to disprove your hypothesis. If your hypothesis is disproved, you simply file the strategy and move on to the next. If it needs improvement, you can use your experience from backtesting and return to the strategy documentation stage. Here you can create a new version of your strategy. Note the changes that you made and compare it to the last time you backtested it, and then you can continue the same process again. Please remember, the best approach when versioning is to modify one variable at a time and then return to your backtesting. If you feel the need to modify a large group of variables at once, then the best process is to recognize this as a new strategy. Once your results are acceptable, then you can move on to stage 5, forward testing. To make the forward testing results viable, you will want the results to span sufficient calendar time, number of trades, and various market conditions, or what we call market moods, in order to achieve the following two key goals. We'll have more on this later. 1. Have a sample set that is based on 100% lucrative trades. We will be giving you additional tools to help you get to this place in your performance. 2. Have a sample set that is large enough to compare to your back testing. However, this does not mean it needs to be the same sample size as the back testing results, and we'll get to these details later. It simply means that it needs to be a reasonable representation of what your results will look like. You will want to do this forward testing using the smallest amount of risk possible. If you prefer, you can use a sim account, or if you trade futures, a top step account. Once you have completed the forward testing process and you have a large enough sample size, then you are ready for stage 6, risk assessment. Here we will compare your forward testing results against your back testing results to measure the difference. If there is a significant divergence, then you will need to look for errors in your back testing or your forward testing execution. The closer your back testing and forward trading aligns, the more confidence you can have in your ability to perform live with this strategy. At this point, you can use this data to set up your risk parameters and the key elements for your expectations of your strategy. How often are you likely to trade? What is your statistical edge? When do you start to scale up your size? What is your maximum expected drawdown? At what point do you take the system offline for adjustments? And several other key risk factors. These are all decisions that need to be made ahead of time before you start executing your strategy. While many traders make these decisions based on some arbitrary rule they heard about, you will be making it based on your own data and your own past performance. This not only means that you will be able to make better decisions, you will also be able to have far more confidence in these decisions. Once you have established your risk parameters, you will then deploy your strategy according to your risk management plan. At this point, your primary goal is to execute lucrative trades. No system jumping, no tweaking, no looking for a new indicator just because you had a bad day. Simply trading the plan and analyzing the results. Which brings us to the final stage. As long as things are going well for your strategy and you continue to make lucrative trades, you will be on a loop between stage 7 and stage 8. Based on a predefined interval, you will review your strategy performance and verify that you are staying within your lucrative range and that your performance is meeting the predefined criteria. You will also adjust or reduce risk at this time in relation to the written plan that you have already created. By applying this process to your trading, you can be sure to get off the hamster wheel of working on the wrong problems at the wrong time and start working on the right problems at the right time. This ensures that you receive the maximum reward for the time and capital you invest in your trading business.